Today, we sit down with Tim Brown, a rider for the SISU racing team, Kurki, who was part of their second place ZRL Cup Division C2 championship finish.
Okay, Tim. Our first question is one that all our viewers are asking. Do you really know John Myers?
John Myers, who scored 197 points while averaging 329 watts, allegedly sponsored by McDonald's, Ben & Jerry's, and Viagra.
The only man who warms up with milkshakes.
But Tim wasn't alone. Andrew Mullican, tactical and efficient. His brother John and team captain, consistent and cool. Michael Reska rode like a freight train, steady and strong. And Jeremiah, quiet, efficient, and deadly.
Yep.
And Robbie Bennett, sidelined by a crash, but watched the whole race on YouTube, even though Tim forgot to turn on his mic.
Tim streams Zwift races like he rides them with confidence, chaos, and questionable output.
And shout out to Daniel Reska for stepping up in round 3, plus all the SISU Kurki riders who carried the team through the first rounds. They laid the foundation.
And here, in front of us, Tim Brown. Supportive, dependable, and moderately detectable on Zwift power.
He brought enthusiasm, spirit, and wattage that occasionally reached triple digits.
Okay, Tim, do you have any final thoughts about the race?
I thought we had a pretty good plan going into it. We just had to charge up the hill, make sure we were in the...
Well, that's about all the time we have. It's time to see Kurki on the course.
Right quick. Tim, isn't this the closest to the front that you will see all race?
This is an amazing finish by all racers. It's looking like you're not gonna catch them, Tim. Kind of reminds me during the SISU championship when you gave up during the climb with John and Andrew.
John Myers is just a dream. After scoring all those points, he humbly let you pass him at the finish.
No kidding. Remind me why we are here with Tim? Oh, that's right. The other SISU team members are busy actually riding outdoors. On that note, thanks for your time, Tim. The whole world is hopeful of the team's successes next season. We wish you all the best. Thanks for tuning in.
And if you talk to John Myers, tell him to call me.